Hello, I hope you're doing well. So for tonight's collab, what we are going to be focusing on is the multimodal toolkit. And this multimodal toolkit is important because it is what you're going to be using for discourse analysis. So this type of analysis can be used for videos, for adverts, for any media. It's the toolkit that the textbook highlights in terms of the different elements that need to be analyzed, broken down, so that you're able to see the value in the media that is created. Because what we always need to remember is that media is deliberate. So things are created for a particular reason, whether it's to entertain, educate, inform, change perspectives, raise awareness, whatever it may be. There's a reason behind every piece of media that is out there, even in some instances to deceive and decept and all that because of fake news and what have you. And this toolkit that we're going to look through now is what you'll be doing or using for your scene exam. So what will happen is an advert will be provided, or a video, or like a short digital ad or something, and you'll use the multimodal toolkit. Sorry, I don't know why I'm tripping over my words tonight, to analyze this media. And the idea is that this toolkit looks at different aspects of the media. And what is important to remember is not every aspect of this toolkit will be useful for the media that they present to you, because some aspects will have text, others will be graphic heavy, some won't have audio. So it just depends on what they give you in your final scene exam. But you still obviously need to understand each of them. So how it would work, how you would use this in terms of your final submission, is that you would first explain that item that is within the toolkit, give me the theory behind it, what it's there for, and the reasoning for it, and then you would apply it to an advert. So when we have the scene exam, there is what they say is the summative scene exam in the folder currently, which is the one from 2023, which I've queried whether that is your actual one, because generally there's a new one each semester. So I'm still waiting on feedback on that, so I'm not basing it on that document that's there, because there is a chance that it will be different. So as soon as I know that, hopefully from our next collab, I'll be able to show you how this applies specifically to the media in your actual exam. Okay, so just a reminder that it's a scene exam, so it means that you get it long in advance. You get time to break it down. I'll go through the generalized information that is needed within the exam, and then obviously you have to take that and turn it into this scene exam with research and detail and depth and what have you. So I'm just going to look at the theoretical aspect of this tonight. And then when we have your scene exam, I'll be able to then show you the application side of it. So the first thing, which should be in every form of media, well, it is pretty much in every form of media, is the verbal. Words, phrases, sentences, paragraphs, slogans, catchphrases, company names, logos, all that kind of thing. It is the text that gives us context. And this, the use of words are to help direct us, help us navigate what the media is meant to be portraying. It helps anchor the meaning. So, if it's about climate change and it's, showing graphics of plastic and what have you, we need to know that it's, speaking to us, society needing to be better at reducing our use of plastic. So those words or phrases, sentences, whatever that is in that medium, those words hold a lot of meaning, because those words give us direction, give us clarity into what that advert is about, which product it's advertising. Because, let's say, for example, if it is a washing powder ad, there's so many different ones. Yes, we do know obviously logos, and we know colors and branding and all that, but those logos and that generally have the name of the product: Omo, Skip, Ariel, whatever it may be. If it was an ad for Gucci or Louis Vuitton or Mango or whatever, we know that because the name is there, and that is the verbal. So it's important to remember that every piece of text within a print or any form of media, digital media, whether it's whether there's motion or if it's a still, whatever it may be, though that wording that is there, you need not only to state what is present, but you also need to state the relevance or the importance or the reasoning behind those words, why it's there, what kind of impact that's going to have. So that is the first aspect of it. And like I say, in most instances, there's very few people that can do ads without text in some way, shape, or form. It would be established brands that are logo that might not have text, but it would have to be very cleverly done. There's been one or two that I can think of, not in recent years, but where they've been able to speak to their company without text, but it is very far and few between. Even your big guys, your McDonald's, your VWs, your Mercs, all of that, they always have some form of text to anchor the message so that people know what they're trying to advertise, what they're trying to tell us, what they're trying to do, especially if it's a campaign when you're trying to create awareness or raise attention through deliberately making people feel uncomfortable. So let's say, for example, if it's about gender violence and there's someone there battered and bruised, they would need that anchorage text. They'd need to explain that they're trying to highlight that if we don't fix it, more and more women will end up like that. Otherwise, the wrong message can go out, and then people can think that they're promoting something when they're trying to stop it. All right. So just going to the next page. Okay, so these are the other aspects of this toolkit. So if you just zoom in your side, the next is your visuals. It's your images. It is what most ads, there are some ads that don't use imagery at all, that ad is designed around text, but in a lot of instances there will be some visual element that is there again to put across a specific meaning. And this is where you do what we call a semiotic analysis, which I know you've done in COSC, where you speak to the connotation and denotation. So your connotation is the feelings, the emotions, the deeper message that you can gain from looking at the visuals. The denotation is what is there. So, if it is the picture of a car, it is a car. If you then go with the connotations, it would be, the luxury leather seats that make you know that this car is worth something, or whatever it may be. So it's your visuals that you're analyzing, and we do that with your connotation and your denotation. And what's important here is to not only look at the images, but also in terms of, maybe the way in which the advert or the media is put together is to give a clue or some nuance into something that's happening within the company. Maybe it's about trying to again, raise awareness. Maybe the visuals are done to promote a particular artist. You need to understand the meaning and the value of those images. A lot of thought and energy goes into the graphics in an advert. Remember, nowadays we'll have obviously real photographs being taken, but also AI generated stuff. And even that, there is meaning behind why a certain graphic's been created. So in your actual analysis using this toolkit, your visual section is generally going to be the biggest, especially because you've got connotation and denotation, and then general discussion as well. Now, if they give you a video ad or some form of video media, the oral comes into it. So this is the sound. Now the sound can be broken down into the background music, the words being spoken, the noises of the kitchen, the road, whatever. You have to break it down into the different auditory elements that make the bigger whole. So there is a reason why there's a telephone ringing in the background. There's a reason why the voiceover is of a younger person rather than an older person. So you have to listen to that media and think about why those particular sounds have been put together to create that particular message. So when you think about the oral side of things, don't just look at the sound as a whole or only about the spoken word from those involved within the campaign or the form of media, but also the background noises, the music they've chosen to run in the background. It will be done to create suspense or calm or heighten emotion or whatever it may be. So the oral, if they give you some form of video media, the oral will also then be super important. That'll have just as much importance, the oral as well as the visual. And even if it is a video media, you still have to analyze the visuals. So you won't analyze it like you would in a advert, for example, where it's one static stationary image, but it will be analyzing the visuals overall and what message it's trying to communicate with the audience. Okay. Then the next is the spatial. Now this has multiple meanings to it. So it's for one where this media is actually being documented, where it's being released, where it's being distributed, whether it's going digital, whether it's going on billboards, whether it's going in magazines, the shape and scale. So again, if it's going billboard, or if it's going magazine, or if it's going online, it all has an importance. That prominence and how much space it takes up holds value, and it's important to be aware of it. It's also the proximity and distance in terms of how familiar the people are that are engaging with this product. Like, for example, for us as a South African community, we would see lots of Coca-Cola ads up, but we won't see Pepsi ads up in the same way, because Pepsi didn't take off in SA like Coke did. We'll see McDonald's ads, we'll see Chicken Licken ads, but we wouldn't see I'm trying to think of an American. We won't see, well, there is the odd Domino's. I don't even know if they are anymore, but we won't see those ads. We'll see Debonair's ads. So it's about where it's being placed. It's also in terms of distance, in terms of are people looking to that media far away, or is it on their screen taking up a big space? So you have to think about the spatial element of your particular form of media. So how it is being distributed, how it's being shared with the audience, where it's being documented, who it's meant to be shared with, who the intended audience is, and then looking at it in terms of, are they trying to reach people en masse? Are they trying to be very specific with their audience? What is the intention with how this message is being distributed? Then there's the textual. So this is actually can be seen again. All these things have multiple aspects to them. But first, there is what they call the materiality. Okay, so literally, what it's made of. So is this something, again, is it going into print? Is it going into digital format? Is it going into like an interactive display? How is this media being distributed? And then it's also the textures and the elements within the advert. You know, if it's something that they're talking about, like say it's based on citrus fruit, where they show the knolled outside of the oranges and the lemons, or is it that you know, whatever textural elements are within that advert? If it's about a clothing designer, can you see the flow of the fabric? Can you see the elements that are being presented? So it's not only the material, as in whether it's like physical or digital, but it's also the materiality, and it's also the textures that are within that advert. So again, multidimensional when it comes to your analysis, because how you analyze something that's being launched digitally, the focus then isn't on the physical aspect of the feel, such as the magazine and paperweight or an interactive media piece or whatever, but the focus then is on the materiality of the contents that is within that digital advert. Okay. Then lastly, it's the context. Okay. How is the text and the graphics and everything displayed or shared? Where are we finding it? How is it linking with the outside world? The context. So is this advert something that's standalone that has got nothing to do with anything else? Or is it like Nando's, who goes and, you know, has some political or social commentary within their adverts to, you know, bring light to issues in a comical way while still promoting their own products? Is the context that it is something that's being released during Pride Month to try and get support in terms of Pride? Is it, you know, what is the context? Why is this being released? Is this a media campaign that's one of 6 that they have created, or is it a standalone? You need to understand that context, and that obviously comes through research. So when we know what the media is that you guys have got to analyze, then the research has to be done. We go and find out what is the context. Is, you know, was this company trying to create awareness? Were they trying to just highlight a particular product or project? Are they trying to show us things that are wrong with society? What is the context? What is the meaning behind it? And pretty much any decent ad of value has analysis done on it by someone online, whether it's local or international, or you'll find people on social media would have commented. So you have to think about where everything fits in, and that's the intertextuality, which I know from English that you do about, you know, referencing other texts. So if it's an advert that is using quotes from Shakespeare, you have to understand Shakespeare and have studied Shakespeare in some way, shape, or form, even at school level, for that ad to make sense. So it's all about making sure that, you know, that company is reaching their intended audience in a way that they can feel, that the audience feels that they connect to that advert, so that they're not wasting their time and money. Okay, so that is the most important thing of this learning unit, is being able to do this analysis. So what I would recommend doing is go through each of these different steps within the multimodal toolkit. I would go and I would start with just any form of a still ad, so of a company that's quite well known, easy, so that there's no, you know, hidden meaning or anything, and practice conducting this this breakdown, this analysis through using this toolkit. Write it out or do it by speaking, so auditory, whatever it may be, but see if you can take a form of media, break it down, analyze it, and see if you can apply all these different elements. Once you have done that, I would then go and find a video ad, so that you can practice the oral side of things as well, because obviously if you do get that, it's good to have practiced it. But what's important at the end of the day is understanding not only the theory behind this, but then being able to apply it. So go and practice, go and have a look. If you are confused on any of these steps, just get hold of me and then I can help you through it. And then, like I say, once we know exactly what your exam one is, I will then break that down with you further. All right, I hope this helps, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye.